Hello friends, this is your Mr. GST CA Vishnuvardhan and welcome to the amendment lecture for your CA Inter May 2022 exams. So for this particular May 2022, there are not any major amendments whatsoever. Only there are some exemptions which have been amended, one or two, and we'll be seeing one good amendment in the last chapter, chapter number 10, that is returns. Fine. So without wasting our time, let us proceed with the amendments. So the amendments from exemptions chapter. So if you see the amendments here from the exemptions chapter, please understand the amendments in exemptions can be three types. One is new exemptions added. Number two, already existing exemptions will be amended. Number three, exemptions are already existing but that have been withdrawn. So just 2-3 entries, that's all. For each type, they have given one exemption. So let us finish them so that this particular chapter exemptions will be done. Fine. If you see entry number 72 in your exemptions, see this entry has been amended in such a way that, see normally what this exemption was, entry 72, services provided to central government, state government, union territory administration under any training programs for which total expenditure is borne by central government, state government or union territory was exempt before. That means, see normally the government will be conducting various training programs. It can be skill development programs or any other similar activities. You have seen some exemptions related to skill development programs under SDA or NSDC, SSC training partners and Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gramin Kaushal Vikas Yojana, something like that. There are so many schemes under which there are skill development programs conducted, training programs conducted, and we have seen some exemptions related to that in entry numbers 69, 70, 71, I guess. So 72, there was an exemption saying that apart from these programs, apart from these skill development programs, any other training program is conducted by some outside agency, for which consideration is not paid by the students attending the programs or the participants attending the program. That consideration was paid by the central government or the state government or union territory administration. That means I am conducting the training programs, but for me the fund is released by, the consideration is released by not the participants but by the central government, state government or union territory administration. So in this case, who is the service provider? Service provider can be any person. But who is the recipient? Recipient is the central government
Central
or
government or state government or union territory.
So earlier, if they are paying a full consideration, it was exempt from GST. But now the amendment is in such a way that they need not pay full consideration. Even if they are paying 75% consideration, also fine. That means if the fees is 1,000 rupees, government is giving 750 and the student is giving 250. Then the transaction is exempt. Is it clear? So if the 75% or more of the total expenditure is borne by central government, state government or union territory administration, it is exempt from GST. Am I clear? Next, there is already existing a exemption which got amended. There is one more exemption. There is a new exemption introduced. It is not already existing which got amended. It is new, brand new amendment. What is that brand new amendment? Simple. Please understand, as I already told you, in reverse charge mechanism case and exemptions, when you are reading reverse charge mechanism and exemptions, you should be focusing on three things. Number one,
Service provider.
Next, number two,
Recipient.
Number three,
Nature of supply.
Clear? So that means supplier, recipient, nature of supply. This you should focus. Supplier, recipient, and nature of supply. So in this transaction, the new exemption, who is the supplier, my dear friends? Read the exemption 61A. So what did they say? They said that services by way of granting national permit to a goods carriage to operate throughout India or contiguous states. Who is the supplier here?
Central government, state government,
Hmm?
central government, sir.
Who is the service provider? Normally, who will grant permit to the vehicles?
National
The
Highway
road,
Authority.
the road
RTO.
transport authority, RTO or RTA,
RTO,
whatever it is, correct? Yes or no? When you purchase a vehicle, you ask for the permit to that respective transport authorities. Yes or no? So here we are talking about we are paying some consideration. Yes or no? We are paying some consideration and getting what? We are getting the national permit to what? Not to your passenger vehicles. Please understand, it is for your goods carriage.
Goods
That
carriage.
means the lorry. Yes or no? When you are going behind a lorry, there will be something no NP, national permit, or permitted in these following states. So like that, so you are getting that permit to operate your goods carriage throughout India or through some particular states. Clear? So that service is exempt. Who is the supplier? Supplier is the respective transportation authorities. Who is the recipient? Recipient can be anybody. What is the nature of supply is what very important here. What is the nature of supply, my dear friends? So it is granting national permit
to
to
goods
operate your
carriage.
goods carriage, to operate your goods carriage either throughout India or through some particular states. Clear? Fine. And there is one exemption which got withdrawn. Earlier, if you see, there is entry 43. Entry 43, what it was saying, sir, entry 43 was saying that the Indian Railway Finance Corporation supplier is who? Indian Railways Finance Corporation was providing services to Indian Railways. What is the service? The service is leasing of assets. Leasing of assets. Indian Railways Finance Corporation was leasing out the assets like rolling stock, wagons, coaches, locos, all the stuff. These were leased out by Indian Railways Finance Corporation. To whom they were leasing it out? To Indian Railways, for which they are getting the lease amount, lease rental or whatever it is, the consideration. That was exempt from GST. That was exempt from GST. Now they have lifted that exemption. So now it is taxable. Now that is taxable. Is that clear? Is that clear, my dear friends? So these are the three exemptions which got amended here. So one is amendment. The other is new exemption. The other is exemption withdrawn. Clear? So that is what all about chapter 4 exemptions. Chapter 1, 2, 3, there are no amendments. Chapter 4 only we have the amendments, so we have discussed it. Is that clear? Shall we proceed? Next, chapter 5 and 6, there are no amendments applicable for this attempt, May 2022. So now we are moving into chapter 7, registration. Chapter 7, registration. So look at this amendment. What is this? Do you remember normally when there is a cancellation of your registration, you can apply for revocation?
Yes, sir.
That means what? Department, the proper officer has cancelled your registration and you are going and asking him, Ayya, cancel my cancellation order. That is what you are asking for revocation. Please take back your cancellation order. Please cancel your cancellation order and reactivate my GST. That is what you are requesting. Now, please understand, for asking this, there was a 30 days time limit now.
Okay.
Please understand, there was a 30 days time limit. Today they are passing an order for cancellation. They are passing an order for cancellation of your registration. From that date, what you can do, you can apply for revocation. You could have applied for revocation within 30 days. But what about the, if at all 30 days expired, that's all. You should go for an appeal, all the stuff. There were a different procedure. Now what happened?
Further 30 days. Appeal not at 30 days.
Now what happened? They gave some extra time limit. What is the extra time limit? Now see, if the 30 days is expired, please understand, you can go and approach the additional commissioner, AC or JC, the joint commissioner, additional commissioner or joint commissioner. And if you show the proper reason, Sir, this was the reason because of which I couldn't apply for revocation within the 30 days time limit. Clear? I was suffering from COVID-19 or my girlfriend was suffering from COVID-19. So I was not able to apply for the revocation. Like that, if you show the sufficient cause, then additional commissioner or joint commissioner may accept your application for revocation. But please understand, 30 days time limit was there. It got expired. And after it get expired, if at all the additional commissioner or joint commissioner is accepting your application for revocation, that can be only for what period? That can be only for what period? For a period not exceeding 30 days. That means 30 days over already. After that, if you go within another 10, 15 days or 20 days, or again within that 30 days, fine. That means again 30 days delay, till 30 days delay, the additional commissioner or joint commissioner will accept. Already 30 days time limit given to you. Yes. After the expiry of that 30 days, again up to 30 days, again additional commissioner or joint commissioner will accept your application for revocation if you show the sufficient cause. Sir, within that 30 days also you didn't go, then you should straight away go to the commissioner. Commissioner can again condone the delay for a period of not exceeding again 30 days beyond the period specified in clause A. That means already there was a time limit of 30 days. Next, that can be again condoned 30 days by additional commissioner or joint commissioner. Again, that delay can be condoned by
30 days.
30 days by whom?
Commissioner.
If you see, this 30 days initially was given in law, correct? And now the amendments are what? The additional commissioner or joint commissioner can condone the delay for another further 30 days. So still, if the delay is even more beyond this 30 days, then you should go and approach the commissioner. So totally you have 90 days. Clear? But you should show the valid reason. Obviously, for these cases, practically the additional commissioner or joint commissioner or commissioner, as the case may be, they will of course accept your request and will allow you to go for the revocation, provided you are rectifying all the mistakes what you have did. Clear? Shall we proceed? Because see, they have cancelled your registration because you did some faults. So if you are ready to rectify those defaults, they will provide. Fine. Next. So that is what the amendment there, my dear friends, with respect to registration. This is already there in the updated material actually. In your, if you have followed latest ICA study material, in that already this has been included. Fine. Next, chapter 8. The amendment is related to E-Invoicing. This amendment is also placed in the latest ICA study material actually. So because this is there in your statutory update, people may feel like, okay, this is some amendment or whatever, so that we are discussing. Fine. Do you remember what is E-Invoicing? Who should follow this E-Invoicing provisions? Every registered person whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year, any preceding financial year from 2017-18 has exceeded 50 crores. That means when GST has come into picture, my dear friends, sir, it is from
July 2017.
17-18 financial year up 2017-18 financial year. From 2017-18, it can be 18-19, 19-20, and so on. Any preceding financial year. Please understand, not in all the financial years. During the past history, if you see your history in any preceding financial year, it is not immediately preceding financial year. In the history of GST, in any preceding financial year, if your aggregate turnover has exceeded rupees how much? 50 crores. And now they made an amendment called 20 crores that will be applicable for November attempt. For May attempt, it is only 50 crores. So in any preceding financial year from the day of introducing GST, if your aggregate turnover has exceeded 50 crores, you have to follow E-Invoicing. What is this E-Invoicing, sir? I will generate an invoice and I will convert it into JSON file, upload to the E-Invoicing portal. So the GST department has introduced the E-Invoicing portals. So into the E-Invoicing portal, you should upload your invoice, and there in the portal, in the website, in the cloud, it will get digitally signed by the department. It will get digitally signed, and they will give you a unique number, IR and invoice reference number they will give you, and there will be a QR code affixed, and now you can download the invoice. That is called E-Invoice. You have your invoice, upload it to the portal. Portal will fix three things in it. One is digital signature, the other is invoice reference number, the other is QR code. After attaching those three things, then it will show download option to you. You download that and now you share it to your customer. Are you able to understand? That means you generate the invoice, first give it to the government, government will add something to it, and now you download and now give it to the customer. Am I clear? This is the E-Invoicing procedure in short actually. Fine. So now the amendment here is, please understand, E-Invoicing provisions you need not follow. Who should follow? Who should follow? Who should follow? Whose aggregate turnover in any preceding financial year from 17-18 has exceeded 50 crores. But if you are a unit in special economic zone, if you are an insurance company or a banking company, if you are a goods transport agency supplying services in relation to transport of goods by road, obviously, or if you are a supplier of passenger transportation service, or if you are a person supplying services by way of admission to cinematographic films in multiplex screens. So these people need not follow E-Invoicing provisions, even though their aggregate turnover has exceeded 50 crores in the preceding financial year, any preceding financial year. These people need not follow E-Invoicing. In addition to that, they brought an amendment that is, if you are a government department also don't follow E-Invoicing. If you are a local authority also don't follow E-Invoicing. Are you able to understand? Who need not follow E-Invoicing provisions? Units in special economic zone, insurance company, banking companies, including NBFCs, GTAs, supplier of passenger transportation services, person supplying the service of admission to exhibition of cinematographic films in multiplex screens. These people need not follow E-Invoicing provisions. But there is an addition to these people. There is government department and local authority need not follow E-Invoicing provisions. Need not follow E-Invoicing provisions. Am I clear? That is what the amendment there. So what is this next amendment, my dear friends? This is something related to e-way bill. Have you read anything related to generation of e-way bill? E-way bill will be blocked if at all you are not filing your GST returns. Have you read such concept? So please understand, generally there is a provision that your e-way bill generation, you cannot generate e-way bill. When you will generate e-way bill normally, when you are transporting the goods, you have to generate an e-way bill. So there is a concept of e-way bill in your chapter. Now the point is, this e-way bill generation is of course mandatory. So you cannot transport the goods without e-way bill. So what the lawmakers did, people are not disciplined enough to file their returns properly or regularly. Clear? So what the lawmakers thought, they thought like, okay, fine, let us streamline this non-filers. So they decided to bring an amendment, and they brought an amendment saying that if you are not filing your GST returns continuously for a period of 2 months, or for composition taxpayers some specified period, whatever it is, so your e-way bill generation is blocked. That was the amendment. But now, please understand, it was like what used to happen, no matter whether you are purchasing, no matter whether you are selling. So please understand, the generation of e-way bill was blocked to the people who are not regularly filing the returns. For example, if you are under composition scheme, you are not continuously file your returns for 2 quarters, or if you're under normal scheme, you have not filed your GSTR1 continuously for 2 months or 2 quarters, or 3B not filed for continuously 2 months, then you are not allowed to generate e-way. Or if your registration is suspended, then also you cannot generate e-way. So now the point is, earlier how was the story? Now you cannot generate e-way either as a supplier or recipient. Do you remember who can generate e-way bill? Sir, you can generate the e-way bill when you are causing the movement of goods. Who is causing the movement of goods? Either consignor or consignee, the supplier or the recipient. So if the supplier is undertaking the responsibility of transportation of goods, supplier will generate the e-way bill and transport the goods. If the recipient is undertaking the responsibility of moving the goods, obviously recipient will generate the e-way bill and move the goods. And there are cases where transporter also can generate the e-way bill. That's a different story. So the point is, if my e-way bill generation is blocked, during generating this e-way bill, I cannot be kept as a supplier, I cannot be kept as a recipient. If I am purchasing also, I cannot generate e-way bill. If I am supplying also, I cannot generate e-way bill. That was the restriction. But now what happened? Now please understand. See, what was the story? GSTs of such blocked taxpayers could not be used to generate the e-way bill, neither as a supplier nor as a recipient. My GSTIN is blocked from generating e-way bill. Now it cannot be used as a supplier GSTIN or recipient GSTIN in the e-way bill. It was not possible. Now they came up with an amendment. What is that amendment, my dear friends? So, amended to relax such restriction. What is that? You are blocked only to generate e-way bill as a supplier. But if you are a recipient in the transaction, no problem. Clear? So it is e-way bill generation would only be for defaulting supplier GSTN and not for defaulting recipient or transporter GSTN. Only in the capacity of supplier, if you are there, your GSTN cannot be used and cannot generate e-way bill. But if at all you are in the capacity of recipient or a transporter, even though your e-way bill generation is blocked, because you are recipient in this case, or because you are the transporter in this case, e-way bill can be generated. Your GSTIN cannot be used as a supplier in the e-way bill. That's all. Clear? That means for your sales, you cannot generate e-way bill. For your purchases, e-way bill can be generated. Am I clear? Earlier, how the restriction was, my dear friends? You cannot be either supplier or recipient. On your purchases, you cannot raise e-way bill. For your sales also, you cannot generate the e-way bill. But now they have just given some relaxation. That is, as a recipient, you can generate the e-way bill, but as a supplier, you cannot. So that was the amendment. So that is what chapter 8. And finally, chapter 9, there are no amendments. Chapter 10, returns, there are amendments. In that, the amendment is related to late fees. Do you remember the late fees, my dear friends?
Yes, sir.
Section
47.
So, if you see the late fees, don't copy. I'll just do some corrections in the presentation, and finally we'll see. So the amendment is related to the related to late fees, and we have seen section 47. What is section 47? So section 47 says that per day 100 rupees under CGST, per day 100 rupees under SGST. For delay in filing of what? GSTR 1, 3B, 4, all this 5, 6, 7, so 10, everything except GSTR 9. So 100 rupees per day, or 5,000, whichever is high. High or lower?
No.
Whichever is lower. Fine. So that means there 200 rupees per day or 10,000 I should compare, taking into account both CGST and SGST tax. Correct? Now they came up with a relaxation. The relaxation is, please understand, the late fees is being relaxed. From June 2021. From the period If you take it monthly return, it is June 2021. If you take the quarterly return, it is April to June 2021. Or if you take yearly return, it is the financial year 2021. Clear? So whatever it is. Now there is a relaxation. What is this relaxation? Now please understand. Whether it is GSTR 1 or GSTR 3B. So if it is GSTR 1 or 3B, please understand. Sir, it can be what? It can be either a nil return. Do you remember we have to file nil return if there are no supplies made or no tax liability? At least you should file a nil return. That is compulsory, correct? So you have to file a nil return, or it is not a nil return. Not a nil return. If it is a nil return, you know what is the late fee? You need not worry about 100 rupees per day, or 5,000, whichever is lower. You need not worry about these provisions. You calculate on daily basis. What is the upper limit as per section 47? What is the upper limit? What is the cap? 10,000, 5,000. In section 47, what did they give? 5,000, 10,000 is the upper limit, the cap, maximum late fees. Here, what they are saying, they have given the relaxation. So, what is the maximum late fee, my dear friends? What is the maximum late fee? So, late fees will be computed on daily basis. Late fees will be computed on daily basis. But what is the maximum amount?
250 GST.
Maximum late fees will be rupees 500. That is rupees 250 and 250. 250 under SGST, 250 under CGST. Is that clear? Is that clear? But whatever you are filing is not a nil return. There is some data, some sales, some ITC, some tax liability, all this stuff. It is not a nil return. It is not a nil return. Then please understand, it depends upon your turnover. It depends upon your turnover. Your aggregate turnover in which financial year? Current financial year, last or preceding a what?
Current financial year. Last.
So it is about preceding financial year. Aggregate turnover in preceding financial year. Clear? So what is your aggregate turnover in preceding financial year? ATO in PFI. That means aggregate turnover in preceding financial year. So if your aggregate turnover in preceding financial year, how much? It is rupees 0 to rupees 1.5 crores. I will categorize you separately. Or it is rupees 1.5 to 5 crores. Or we can say, yeah. And it is rupees greater than rupees 5 crores. So it is greater than rupees 1.5 crores to less than or equal to 5 crores. So 0 to 1.5 crores, above 1.5 crores, up to 5 crores, and more than 5 crores. These are the three categories. So for this 0 to 1.5 crores, what is the maximum late fees? What is the maximum late fee, my dear friends?
1,000 CGST.
Total amount. What is the maximum late fees? Rupees 2,000. Rupees. No, you should respond. You should tell me. I don't know the amendments. Only you should tell me.
Okay, sir.
Rupees.
2,000.
2,000. So 2,000 is what? How much?
1,000 CGST, 1,000 SGST.
Yes. Others respond. But in case of if it is 1.5 to 5 crores,
5,000.
what is the maximum late fees?
5,000.
Rupees 5,000. How much CGST? How much SGST?
2,500, 2,500.
So it is rupees 2,500 CGST.
2,500 SGST.
We are discussing maximum late fees. Should I do daily computation or not? Should I compute the daily late fees or not? Yes. And you compare it with this. As per section 47, what you will compare with straight away 5,000 plus 5,000, 10,000. But here you will compare with, if your aggregate turnover is up to 1.5 crores, you will compare it with only 2,000. 1,000 CGST, 1,000 SGST. Clear? If my late fees is 4,600 in this case, 4,600 in this case, there was delay for some days. For that, it is 4,600. Then
4,600.
it is 4,600 or 2,000, whichever is less. Yes or no?
2,000.
So 2,000. In this case, it is 4,600.
4,600.
Clear? Sir, if it is more than 5 crores, if it is more than 5 crores,
10,000. 10,000.
yes, it is
10,000.
10,000.
just section 47. You have to follow, correct? 5,000 CGST, 5,000
SGST.
This is for what? GSTR 1 and 3B. This is for GSTR 1 and 3B. So what is the amendment? What is the amendment? Normally, sir, what we have seen in section 47, the maximum late fee, the upper cap is 10,000 rupees. That is 5,000 under CGST, 5,000 under SGST. But now the department has given a relaxation that if at all the GSTR 1 or 3B, whatever you are filing, is a nil return, maximum late fees will not go beyond 500 rupees. That means 250 plus 250. Clear? Next, if at all it is not a nil return, I will levy the late fees based upon the size of your business. I don't want to give the pain of late fees to the small taxpayers. That is what the intention of the lawmakers. So they said, if your aggregate turnover is up to 1.5 crores, the maximum late fees shall be treated as only 2,000 rupees. That is 1,000 under CGST, 1,000 under SGST. And if you refer IGST law, it will be 2,000 straight away. Clear? So next, if your aggregate turnover is more than 1.5 crores, but up to 5 crore rupees, it is only 5,000 rupees the late fees maximum, 2,500 and 2,500. It is more than 5 crores, you are not a small taxpayer, according to me. So for you, just like the normal section 47, upper limit, that is 10,000, 5,000 plus 5,000 will be applicable. Am I clear? Shall we proceed?
Yes.
But if it is GSTR 1 and 3B, fine. It is for GSTR 1 and 3B. I'll give you time to copy. Just first let us finish the concept. So 1 and 3B, fine. Now there is an amendment for GSTR 4 also for delay in filing GSTR 4 from the financial year 21-22. Financial year 21-22. GSTR 4 you will file on what basis? What is the periodicity? Monthly or quarterly? Half yearly?
Annually.
Annually, right? So okay. So from financial year 21-22, they gave the relaxation. What is that? Here simple. Is it a nil return GSTR 4? What is the maximum late fee? 500. 250 plus 250. I will compute on daily basis, but maximum we are talking about the cap. Clear? Suppose if it is other than nil return, then 2,000. 2,000 plus 4. So please understand. GSTR 4, the maximum late fees. What is the maximum late fees, my dear friends?
Nil return. 500.
What is the nil return rupees?
500.
That is
250.
250
250.
plus 250. If it is not a nil return,
2,000. 2,000.
That is 1,000 plus.
1,000.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. You can call. So that is what all about the late fees, the amendment part. Shall we proceed? Copy it, guys. Shall we proceed? And
Yes,
one
sir.
small amendment, the last amendment. And this is not the amendment which should be applicable or which should be discussed in the statutory update. I don't know why. Okay, fine. So there was a concept called GSTR9c. So what is GSTR9c? The reconciliation statement which should be certified by the professional, practicing professional. Now, that GSTR9c was there in your syllabus earlier when GST was introduced. Later on, it has been removed from your syllabus. This amendment is related to that part actually. Earlier, what was the position now? The section 44 was saying that this GSTR9c, what you have to file should be certified by a practicing professional, the chartered accountant. Now what they did, they have amended this in such a way that it can be self-certified. That means the taxpayer on his own, he can certify it. No need of a practicing professional signing it or certifying it. The taxpayer himself can sign it and upload. Is that clear? So now the amendment here is GSTR9c, the reconciliation statement, which was earlier supposed to be audited by a specified professional, is no more in need of certification by the specified professional. The taxpayer he himself can certify it. But however, you need not worry that, sir, we are going to lose our revenue in the market. Please understand. However, GSTR9c also will be filed by the professionals only. The taxpayer himself will not have the knowledge to file this return. So obviously, your revenue is not affected. So don't worry about that. So coming to the point, what is this? This amendment is of course nowhere connected to your syllabus, to be frank. So that is what the amendment here, and these are the amendments which are applicable for your May 2022. Very few amendments, very easy amendments, so nothing to worry. Just you can go through the statutory update and you can be very comfortable. Fine. So that is what all about your May 2022 updates.